Yeah, it only took me about 10 weeks to put these fuckers on. Holy cow. I'm being facetious, but man, this stuff is hard. At least it's hard for me. And I'm not a wiring guy or an auto mechanic or any electrician or anything like that. So if you're troubleshooting or you're about to install these KC lights, the purpose for this video is to share with you some of the things that I went through to install it on my Chevy Suburban 2500 freaking 8.1. Okay, so first and foremost, let me just say this. BleepingJeep did an installation on how to install KC Slimlites, and it was awesome. I followed it to a T, and everything worked out. The only difference is he put it on an actual Jeep, right? I have the Chevy, so the firewall is different. The battery terminals are different. There's some different things about my car compared to his, and I want to troubleshoot and share with you what I learned because it was frustrating as hell. So the first thing that I learned in putting the wiring harness together, right, is that in Chevys, if you have one, okay, you know that you have the side mounted terminals and there's not a lot of room here on the fuse box. So what I had to do, and I suggest that before you actually start installing this, what you do is you go out and you buy one of these hosses. It's an adapter. It's a bolt extender side mount adapter. And what that will allow you to do is that this nut actually comes off, okay? And it will allow you to put the power in the white wire here so that you'll get 12 volts going to the actual switch. So you have to take out the existing nut, just unscrew it off, take it out. I think I have it. Yep, I do. I have it right over here. So this nut, okay, that goes in, focus, it actually goes this way. Okay, you have to pull that out. You're gonna need like some channel locks to do it because this little rim here butts up against a plastic piece and you just gotta tear it out. So the first thing you gotta do is mount or put these adapters in. It will make all the difference in the world. For BleepingJeep's video, he had the terminals that went on top, and you just simply unscrew them and you put the power cable and the white cable on there, and you're good to go. In my case, I had to learn this the hard way. Okay. The second thing that I learned is that the firewall that's tucked away in my Chevy Suburban, see if I can focus, okay, is just not very roomy. I think the Jeeps are a little bit more roomy. So what I actually had to do out of just total freaking frustration was, you may not be able to see it, but what you want to do, and I'm going to use this tool to show you, is, it's not actually a tool, it's a coat hanger, is right here, okay? Right here on the rubber gasket, you want to take a razor blade and you want to cut about 2 inches, okay? And you would think that would be easy, but there's not a lot of room here, and I got big hands, so that was frustrating. Second of all, once I was able to make that slit within the firewall, what I had to do was, because these wires that come with the wiring harness are really flimsy and don't have any, I don't know what the word is, bite to them, they're just flimsy, it's going to take an act of God to push them through the firewall. So what I did is I got a piece of, see if I can show this. I got a piece of high gauge or a bigger gauge coat hanger, okay? And I made this little hook here. And then what you do is you actually wrap it around the wire. Obviously, it's going to be closer to the firewall. You wrap it around the wire, and then you tighten it up, okay? You tighten it up enough right here. Come on, man. And you crimp it right there so that it will allow you to actually push it through the firewall. Okay? So then what you do once you have it connected is, what I did was I took my coat hanger and I just literally pushed it right through that hole, and I kept pushing until I was able to go into the bottom part of the firewall with inside my truck and just pull the whole thing through. And then once I was able to pull the whole thing through, I did it with the green one and I did it with the white one. And it worked out great. There's a ground that you connect it to on the switch. So troubleshooting point 2, get yourself a coat hanger and makeshift a little push rod and use it that way. All right. The other thing that I did too is once I had this whole thing set up and ready to go prior to pushing the wires through the firewall is that I tested it. I tested to see if I was getting power. I didn't have a voltmeter. I just tested to see if it got on and the bitches went on. So then what happened is I actually pushed all the wires through the firewall. I got it set up on my switch, ready to go, turned it on, and freaking nothing. I wasn't getting any power to the lights down here. I wasn't getting any power anywhere. So you can imagine, after working so hard on this, how fucking mad I was. So in my dismay, I went to Advanced Auto and we checked everything on a voltmeter. Turns out that the fuse for this actual white wire is a 3 amp fuse. And so I called KC and was like, guys, I'm ready to kill myself. I need some troubleshooting. And my man was like, listen, go out and buy some 5 amp fuses or even a 7 amp fuse, pull out the one that's in here and put the 5 amp in. That'll solve your problem. And I'm like, yeah, right. You're full of shit. So I went out, I spent $2 on 10 5 amp fuses, put this bitch in, and I came back and I asked her, you tested it with not necessarily a voltmeter, but it was a meter that you ground and then you check to see if you're getting any power and it turns on, and she freaking went. And it was phenomenal. So I got him to go. So once I was able to do that, yeah, that's annoying. I mounted the switch to the front of my dash here, this plastic piece. Now, if you have a Chevy, you know that you can actually pull off this piece. If you don't know how to do that, basically what you do, guys, and this is really elementary. If you're a Chevy guy, you know this. You basically turn the car on, you put the wheel all the way down, okay? So you set the wheel all the way down to the bottom, and then you move the, put your parking brake on, you move this down, and then you can pull out this piece, all right? It actually comes out, all right? And you do it smartly. I don't want to do it now, but you basically pull out this whole piece. It's one big piece, okay? This is all connected, all right? And then I was actually able to run my wires through the firewall that came up here into this fuse area, okay, that's on the side of your truck, and then here are my wires. And I ran them through and I put my switch right here on my truck. How do I know it works? Because when I press on the light, the motherfucker turns on. Guys, I can't even begin to tell you how much of a pain in the ass this was for me to figure all this stuff out. I mean, it was like days. I mean, I have a job and I have 3 kids. I don't have a lot of spare time. So let's put this back together, get this up and running, have the brake on. So that's it, okay? That's what I would recommend you to do. If you don't have the wiring diagram for your lights, I'll share these with you because I don't have the switch to show you. But basically, this is your switch. Focus. Thank you. Okay? This is your switch right here. The top prong, earth, ground. Ground that fucker. Okay? The green is your actual relay. It's your load. Okay? That green goes to the top prong. The white is connected to actually, I actually connected to my battery. Like I showed you right here. See, it's connected. It will not. The white wire must be attached to a 12-volt power source for the lights to work. If you don't have that dude connected, your shit's not gonna work, okay? So back to the harness. You'll know that you'll get power because when you turn on the switch, the green light will go on, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because Jesus, it took me forever to figure this out. So get your adapter, get yourself a coat hanger, okay? And if for whatever reason you get it all through and the shit doesn't turn on, 5 amp or even a 7 amp fuse in replacement of the one that's connected to the white wire. That should work. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope this helps.